You know, I walked into a Harley-Davidson shop, and it wasn't this one. I'm here at Bootlegger Harley in Knoxville, Tennessee. But I walked into a Harley-Davidson shop, and this guy, he didn't say hello, he didn't say anything. His first comment, he said, "You're too tall to ride a Harley." Seriously, that's how he greeted me. That was insane. He said, "You're too tall to ride a Harley." I've been riding Harleys for years, so no, I'm not too tall to ride a Harley.
Back down like my mule, roads clear, tank full, kick back with my feet up. I twist back and I speed up. Left lane, pipes full, move fast but it's got more. Clear skies. Thank you, Lord, I'm gliding. Perfect day for riding. 500 in front of me and I'm right here where I wanna be. It's a beautiful day and I thank God for it all. I'm traveling tall.
All right, guys, so this is a 2024 Harley-Davidson Road Glide. Now, Harley has the task of taking a bike like this, a Road Glide or a Street Glide, and try to make it ergonomically correct for most of their customers. I get it. Most of their customers are not 6'6" tall. You know what I mean? I would say the average height person in America now is like 5'11". I rode a stock motorcycle. It was actually a Street Glide in 2019 from Tennessee all the way to California, and I was perfectly fine on it. But fast forward to 2024, I know that there's some things that you can do to make these motorcycles more comfortable for tall riders. Now this right here is a 2024 Street Glide. A lot of people will talk about the Street Glides not being big enough for people my size, and that is completely false. This motorcycle from the neck back is it's the same. The only difference with the new 2024 Street Glides, they have the bars down low when the Road Glides have the bars up high. And the fairing is slightly pushed further away from you, but you have as much room from the steering neck on back. When I changed out the bars on my Street Glide, I went with 10-inch bars, and 10-inch bars kept me below, let me show you here, kept me below the fairing. My hands are about right there, but I had to drop down mirror brackets because my hands was right in front of the mirror. Having 10s or possibly 12s, by the way, each manufacturer is not exactly right. Some manufacturers measure them from the bend up, and some manufacturers measure bars from the bottom of the bar to the top of the bar. Everybody measures theirs totally different. But I know that I would have to change the bars on this Street Glide because they're too low. I was actually riding one of those not too long ago, and these bars are so low that they hit my knee. Let me show you. So if I'm turning, see that? So it won't work. You know, when you're turning really tight, now just riding it straight, of course, works, but if you're trying to turn it real tight or whatever, it hits your knee, and it's not comfortable having the bars down this low. Now, some people will go to the extreme and they want to change their bars and put their bars way up here. Me personally, I don't like the way that looks, so I would never do that. And also you have your hands exposed out here in the elements. They make guards to keep your hands, to go on the bars to protect your hands. I'm not a huge fan of that, you know, just personal taste. And I don't like having my hands that far up above the fairing. I love the protection that this Batwing fairing gives me because it creates like a little rider bubble for you, and you have your hands behind there. On cold days, it keeps your hands warmer. On rainy days, it keeps your hands drier. If you're a tall person, it still will work for you, but I do recommend that you change the bars out. Now this beautiful bike here is a brand new Road King, but I want to show you this. On this Road King, you see the seat that I'm sitting on. You see how I'm really close up on the tank. The bars makes a big deal, making the bike more comfortable for you when you're tall, but the seat is a game changer. You could live with the bars if you're pushed back further on the seat. So there's seats that I have on my bike. I have a LePera Daddy long leg seats. It pushes you back 2 inches and lifts you up 2 inches, and it makes a huge difference. Shoulder pain is real with bad bars, but hip pain is even worse when you are close up on the tank and you're really cramped up riding a motorcycle. You can put some miles on a motorcycle when you have a good seat that pushes you back like that. So here's another modification you can do, but on all of my motorcycles, I don't have it on my bike. Everybody keeps telling me how great it is, but it hasn't been an issue for me. Now, it might be one of those things, like I said, when I rode my Street Glide across country, it was bone stock, and it was fine, But now that I have all those modifications done to my motorcycle, I realized that I needed those modifications long ago. I have stock floorboards on my bike with the stock floorboard position. They make extended reach floorboards to make these floorboards pushed out further for people with longer legs, and extended reach brake pedal and shift lever. Hasn't been the issue with me. Maybe I'll try it, but I think that far as having it just like this, I put thousands of miles across country on multiple bikes that way. I'm not going to leave out the adventure riders. This right here is a new Pan America CVO. It has a high seat height. You know, with the bags on, I kick through like this. Even though it has a pretty high seat height, the bars are down. They make risers to bring these bars up so you can have your hands up to about right there, and it feels a lot better. Just because it has a high seat height doesn't mean it's going to be more comfortable for a taller rider. And with the mid controls, having your legs bent like this, it's really not that bad. And the great thing about an adventure bike is you can stand up when you want to stretch your legs out. So I kind of like it. I haven't put a lot of miles on it. I've probably maybe put 200, 300 miles on in one day. For the most part, a tall person, there's still some adjustments that you can make to make this better fitted for someone that's tall. Now, this bike right here, it has forward controls, but they make even more forward controls. I guess they would be extended. It has your feet out a little bit further. They're not mid controls like you saw on that Pan America there, but it's still, this is not very comfortable for me. I would probably need at least a couple more inches out there where to get my legs stretched out a little bit more because of the hip pain that, you know, when you have your legs kind of bent like that, after a while, you sort of get pain in your hip right there. Well, at least for most tall people, that's where we complain about hip pain. Now, the bars on this bike are actually not bad bars. I like them. You don't have to have bars up this high to be comfortable. Sometimes if the bars are wide enough, that helps you out too. If I had this motorcycle right here, I would definitely need extended controls to go out a little bit further. This is a cruiser. I don't see a lot of people travel on these across country, so this is kind of like just going around town. And I think with another inch of extension on the shift lever and brake lever on the other side, it'd be perfect for that. The ultimate touring Harley-Davidson motorcycle. Let me tell you the key. The best thing that you can do if you're a tall person riding a motorcycle, if you want to put some miles on the bike, this is the secret. Y'all listen to this. This is the secret for you. Even if you can't afford a good extended reach seat, if you put highway pegs on your engine guards, that allows you to stretch your leg out. This one doesn't have it on there, but it allows you to stretch your leg out to get that blood flowing right there, and you can really put some miles on your motorcycle. Highway pegs is the key. You're riding 300, 400 mile days, it will extend your ride in with highway pegs. I'm telling you, it's the best thing that you can do for a touring motorcycle. That's the secret, that's the trick. So being a tall person, I think that's just a mandatory thing to put on a bike. Now, Ernie's been riding motorcycles
I've been riding for over 50 years.
He's been riding for over 50 years and been selling Harleys for a long time, for
Almost 40 years.
about 40 years. Mm-hmm. So now let's talk about making a motorcycle more comfortable for tall people. You just said something off camera. Can you kind of share?
Short people can be a challenge to fit on a bike, but taller people are more of a challenge. When I sit somebody on a bike, the three things, we want their hand positioning, foot positioning, and their butt to be happy. Some bikes I can't move your foot forward, but I can move you back, like you talked about a tall boy seat.
Yeah.
That's a good go-to. But now when you mention the highway pegs, one of the things I always tell folks, there's a lot of different pegs. Some come straight out, and that may not be enough for you.
Right.
They make some with an arm where you can rotate where you want your foot to actually be.
Yeah.
That's going to fit someone much better your size.
Yeah.
You know, further I can stretch you out, more comfortable you are, the longer you can ride.
So Alicia, what do you consider a tall person?
Tall person to me is probably 6 foot. Just a 6 foot.
6 foot. Mm-hmm. Andy?
Well, I'm short, so, but I'd say 6 foot. 6'4" like be really pushing it.
giant.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that'd be.
Wait a minute.
So are you tall?
I'm 6'6", so I'm a giant. Okay. Now, this beautiful motorcycle is a 2024 Harley-Davidson Lowrider ST. I would love to have one of these bikes in my garage. However, it doesn't love me because of this. Check this out. You see how high my knee is above the tank here? It's insane. So I would have to have some forward controls, and forward controls, slight forward controls would work, yeah, but having forward controls with the Lowrider ST kind of goes against how the Lowrider ST is supposed to look and handle and perform. So my dreams of having a Lowrider ST are probably, I have to just they just have to continue to be a dream. All right, guys, I'm back here at the parts counter at Bootlegger Harley-Davidson. I got Mikey here.
How you doing?
So I'm gonna ask Mikey, first off, what do you consider to be a tall person?
I'm 5'11" myself, so anyone taller than me. So 6 foot, 6'2", something like that. Any bigger than that?
6'6", okay.
Yeah,
So now you have plenty of people to buy these new Harley-Davidson motorcycles that need to make modifications for their height. What do you suggest?
I would maybe start off with some seats. Next thing you do is handlebars. You can raise your suspension if you want to do something like that, if you wanted the bike sit higher. But the main thing is, usually like seat and bars is what we go through.
If 6 foot is tall, what is short?
I'd say, in my opinion, of short, like 5'8" and under for a guy. Women.
Is there anything you can do for people that are shorter on these new motorcycles?
Yeah, so actually there's, we can lower the suspension. We just did a bike recently. We lowered the suspension 1 inch in the rear. We did a top triple tree that has 3 different locations for the risers. The lady wanted them 2 inches closer. That's what that triple tree does. We're gonna work on getting her a seat next, but as far as right now, we did lower suspension and move the risers back 2 inches, and she loves it right now.
Cool.
And she's 4'9".
Now, Jacob, what do you consider tall?
Anybody who can flat foot a Pan America.
What do you consider short then?
Anybody who can't reach on a Heritage. If you are a little bit shorter and you're looking to make your bike where you can reach the ground, be a lot more comfortable on it, we always recommend going with a seat change first. They make what they call the reach seat. That way you're not sacrificing your suspension travel whenever you're doing these things. Now, if you just can't do it and you want to go with suspension, our parts guys are really knowledgeable in all of the springs that are going to be the best option for comfort and riding and being able to reach as well. So springs are always a second to the seat.
The new bars on the Road Glide, they're perfect for taller people. For me, I think they're really good. But the new bars on the Street Glide, not so much. You know what I mean? So are you okay with the bars on the Street Glide, or would you change the bars on your Street Glide?
I would absolutely change the bars on a Street Glide. Yeah. The Road Glide comes with that 12-inch bar from the factory, more of a flat ride position. It's a lot more natural, and they're fully adjustable. You can roll them back or forward up to a certain point as well to make it fit you. The Street Glide, there isn't much of an adjustment, and it is a much shorter bar with a little bit more of a turn-in angle on the grip.
He's a Road Glide rider, so he's going to be biased by saying this. But with the Street Glide, all you have to do is change the bars out, and it'll be just as comfortable as this Road Glide. Probably even more so.
That's a lie.
I think when Harley and other manufacturers make a motorcycle, they probably look at the average size, anywhere from 5'9" up to maybe 6'1" is kind of the happy spot, if you will. So when you're getting into 6'2" and above, there's going to be some alterations that are usually going to be made. And when you're less than, 5'8", there's going to be alterations that are going to be made to get you comfortable. You want to make sure you have, a shorter person. You got to make sure you have your foot flat on the ground when you stop. That's right. You have a good balance on the bike. You're not struggling with it. To sit on a bike here in the showroom for a few minutes is one thing, but out there, it's not all level. Right. You're going to be on hills, there's going to be dips, there's going to be times one foot's lower than the other foot, and so it's really important to fit somebody well on a motorcycle. A taller person, they don't really have as much issue because they are going to most likely be flat-footed anytime they're riding a bike. However, there's other things that do come into play. If you're sitting too far forward on the tank, if your steering is too tight for you, if you can't maneuver the bike well, especially some curvy roads like we have here, you don't want to jam yourself up.
No.
You definitely want to make sure you have free and easy movement. You want to make sure, you reach everything well, but you also don't want everything cramming you. So, you know, there's a happy medium there.
Yeah, it goes to hands, feet, and seat.
Hands, feet, and seat.
Yep.
If you can make those happy, you're pretty happy.
So, Travis, first off, let me ask you, what do you consider a tall person? And I mean, like, where do they start at? Like 6 foot, 6'2"? What do you think?
I'd say anything bigger than Jacob would be considered tall. I'd say you got to start with a 6.
Okay,
you know,
gotta start with a 6.
It's got to start with a 6.
So 5'11"? No. Okay. All right. So
Close only counting horseshoes and hand grenades.
the average Harley-Davidson rider, when they make these motorcycles, what do you think they're making for people like 5'10", 5'11", something like that?
Yeah, I would say in that 5'10" to 6 foot range. You know, there's some things that you can do to kind of stretch stuff out or make it closer if you want to, though.
Okay. So what are some of the things you've seen in your experience that people are making these modifications so they can fit their Harley-Davidson better?
Absolutely, great question. Seats and bars. I mean, there's so many different ways to go, so many different, I guess, places that you can put the bars as far as where your hands are going to be. So bars and seats going to be that quick way to do it.
Now this motorcycle behind me, how tall are these bars? First of all, it's his motorcycle. How tall are these bars?
Those are some 20s.
Matter of fact, why don't you just roll it out there and sit on it? Let's see this.
Gotta be 6 feet, Jacob. I'm sorry.
So this is your motorcycle, and you got some what on here again?
Some 20 twins. Yeah.
Okay, so you got some 20s on it. Now, have you ridden this bike before?
Yes.
Is this even remotely comfortable with these bars up like that?
It's a little bit overkill.
A little bit overkill. Okay, over. So, Mikey, what do you think about it? Is it? Come on in here. Come on in here. Get on camera.
This is from the opinion of short people, by the way.
That's way too big for me. Straight up.
Okay. So you can go through the parking lot, slow maneuver through the parking lot, and all that stuff.
No, he cannot. Do not let him lie to you.
Yeah.
Listen, short people lie.
Is it necessary to have bars so tall to be comfortable for a tall person?
No, absolutely not. You know, this is more for the style and the look than it is necessarily for comfort.
Okay. This is a Road King, and it has aftermarket bars. It feels good, and this is about the right height for me. You know, some people have Road Kings with bars way up here. I just think this is a good height, and this is more like a drag style bar. All right, guys, so there you have it. You hear the advice that they gave you, the salespeople here at Bootlegger Harley-Davidson. I want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure you check out all the other videos in the playlist. And if you're anywhere near Knoxville, Tennessee, stop by Bootlegger Harley-Davidson to see the guys here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Keep gliding. As always, have a blessed day.